Good morning everybody, welcome back to another video. It's a beautiful November morning. A little bit chilly, says air temp's 12. It probably is today. It was a lot colder yesterday, it still said 12. The beautiful sun is shining. What more could we ask for apart from maybe less wind and a bit warmer? But anyway, it is mid-autumn actually, because autumn doesn't finish until December 21st, well, December 20th, as I recently found out. Anyway, purpose of today's video. Title probably explains most of it, but I'll go through it. So, some of you with the Africa Twin get wind buffeting and noise, and it can be a little bit confusing as to what is what does what causes what, right? Something to factor in here is we are all different. We are all different heights, shapes, sizes. We've all got a different riding style. Some are very upright, some are a bit more down like this. And all those different factors will play into it, including the clothing you wear. And that includes your neck tube, buffer thing, your helmet. So, what are the differences then? Or what are the two things that I'd like to eliminate in this video and the next one? Well, I get a lot of wind noise and I get a lot of buffeting. What is buffeting, you might ask? Well, buffeting is the air that we are riding through, cutting through, if you will, becoming turbulent, coming up over the screen or around the side of the screen or even off the handguards or the fairing, tumbling and contacting your helmet and your chest. Now, I've always had naked bikes. Duke was naked. The Shiver was naked. That's nice. Learn tries to run me over. The Shiver was naked. The Fantic's naked. The KTM's naked. This is my first real faired bike, and I have to say, I don't really like the fairing part of it. I'm fine with taking wind on the chest at 100 miles an hour. I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is the buffeting and the noise. Now, there's two things we'll identify is what is actually the buffeting and what is the noise. Now, the buffeting, as we get up to speed, is, as I said, the turbulent wind. So at the minute, when you're turning, it's coming that way. When you turn, it's coming that way. It's currently coming over here, and it's, you can't see, but it's hitting on the top of my helmet on here, and making my head shake a little bit, which causes noise as well. But it's the buffeting, it's the I can feel it on the top of my shoulders as well. If I was 2 inches taller or 4 inches taller, I'd be up here, and it's not buffeting my helmet anymore, it's just hitting me in the chest. And that's why I'm not. Now, is that also where the wind noise is coming from? So, yes and no. Yes, it is, because you can't blow wind at force against a static object, or a static-ish object, not immovable, just static, without creating some noise, can ya? Even if you blow on a balloon, that transference of energy, which is kinetic energy, yeah, creates something. It creates sound waves which are then resonated. Your helmet is fiberglass, plastic, whatever it is, and takes that wind and then resonates it around your skull. But if you stop the buffeting by doing this, you don't get that wind noise from the wind anymore, blowing on it from the buffeting. What you get is actual wind noise created by your helmet, and that comes in from there, underneath your helmet. I don't know if you've used something called the, oh god, what's it called? Windjammer, that's it. I've got a video on one, maybe I'll link it to the description. I've got one on my AGV K3SV, I haven't got one on any of my other lids. I won't bother going into why, but I just haven't. Now that wind is coming up from below, and it's this opening here underneath that creates that. Because it's a flat surface with a hole in it and your melon, and you can't make it airtight unless you use something like a windjammer or a sock around it, which is why I said earlier about your clothing and your choice of clothing and your neck roll and all of that. The more you pack it out, the less wind noise you'll get. Now, where does that wind noise come from? Well, on a naked bike, as in it hasn't got a fairing, it comes from straight in front of you, because there's nothing to stop the air. On a bike like this with a big old fairing, it can't come from there, can it? So where does it come from? It comes from down here. This tunnel, this nice little wind tunnel that Honda have put in, and that is coming from. So if you put your head down here, you'll feel your neck getting cold, because the wind's blowing up here at an angle. So the first thing we're going to do is eliminate the wind noise, because the wind noise, in my opinion, is worse than the buffing. I can deal kind of with my head jiggly jangling, shaking around and all that, yeah? And that will be the next thing to fix. But what I can't deal with is the wind noise. because that's the thing that makes your ears ring for the next, you know, the following day sometimes. I mean, I'm getting a lot of wind on my helmet now, but I'm also getting a lot of wind coming from down there up under my chin, which I'd like to kind of eliminate. So we're going to head back now, and it's a very simple job. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 Allen bolts. It comes with a little riser spacer thing to let the air channel out rather than push it back down, which I'll explain when I get it out. There's a lot of crosswind today as well, so maybe it's a bad day for doing this video. But if you just put a flat object over the top of that, it would create lift. And we don't really want lift, do we? Because we'd have to put a diffuser down there at the forks in order to stop the fairing and the tank lifting. And we don't want that, because at speed, the last thing you want is your front wheel lifting up unintentionally. I mean, if it lifts up because of power, because you're doing dank wheelies, then hell yeah, the more the merrier. But lifting because of wind, hell no, fuck that shit, man. So let's head back to the garden workshop. In fact, we'll probably do it in the car park rather than bother going into the garden workshop, because there's only 4 Allen bolts. Yeah, we'll go into the garden-ish workshop and install it, and then go back out for a second ride. Oh, I forgot about how tight this roundabout can be. I was too busy talking. And a bit of a jink left. Use all of that tyre if we can, and all of that lane. You know, I'm at 720 miles now. I'd say I'm still pretty new to an Africa Twin, considering I've done those 720 miles in 3 rides pretty much. Maybe 4 rides now. Yeah, 4 rides now. But it is so confidence inspiring. Yes, it's very flat on the sides and blows you all over the shop. But what doesn't? If you've come from a big GS with a massive fairing, or another bike that's got a massive fairing, then yeah, this would probably be a bit of a shock. If you've come from naked bikes and dirt bikes, this is luxury. This is like the QE2. Anyway, let's get back. So then, next job is, as I've already alluded to change this out. Now I'm going to be sad because the DT sticker is going to go. But this Honda official screen, especially after yesterday's little drop, has actually flexed. I don't know if that was there before because I can't remember. But I can't see through it anyway, so it's pointless. It distorts everything. And it's the wrong height, as I explained previously. It's just a little bit too tall for my height. It needs to be about that much shorter. So then what are we going to do? We're going to make it bat-like. So that should line up with that, that should line up with that. Those holes don't line up very well, that's for sure. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to take it off and put that on. Let's hope it goes alright. Sorry, kit change. I had to sort my hair out, and it's too warm for an insulated bike jacket, so it's off. So I have heard that, well, that's loose anyway, and that's loose. Okay, that's quite loose, and that's quite loose. Now, I've not seen them, but I've heard rumour that people drop the nuts off the back of these. I presume it's on some kind of rubber bush, and it inserts in the hole from behind, which it probably does. It's probably that thing there. Anyway, so what I figured was, if I loosen them off and then pull this forward, that should pull the rubber bungs further into the holes, no? Seems like sound methodology to me. Just don't undo them too much. Undo them and keep working these out, because otherwise if I drop it, or if it shoots out, I'm screwed. As long as you keep the pressure on the screen and don't push the Allen key forward, in theory, it should work fine. Yeah, it was as I suspected. They're pushing. Simple as that. Okay, so now the putting in process is just the same in reverse, but just be super careful. Make sure that you've got the thread in. Oh God. Okay, so now I see the real issue. The real issue is the shape of the rubber. rubber is distorted, that's the issue. As long as the rubber doesn't catch the bolt as you push the bolt in, it's fine. But you need the rubber to be clear of that bolt thread there so you can actually get to the thread. So now I see what all of y'all's issue is, and apologies for the wind, but I'm not God, I can't control the wind. Well, I can see why there's potential for this to go wrong. The rubber has ovulated. What I mean by that is it's become oval shaped, not round. So the top ones are a piece of piss, because you can put your finger on the back. The bottom one, it doesn't seem there's any way to get in there, but they don't seem as oval shaped. So just nice and easy, fingers, fingers, fingers. And for the first time, hopefully you won't hear me swear. Ooh. I think they've grabbed. Let's try some tightening, shall we? They've definitely grabbed. Don't know if they got a torque setting or not, so I'm just going to go as tight as I dare. Well then. I didn't fuck it up for once. Well then, what do you reckon? Looks pretty mean, doesn't it? Might stick a DT sticker there. Might be a bit chavvy though. Who am I kidding? Right, let's get this bitch out on the road, shall we? See if it makes what difference that makes. Hey then! That's the next job done! And we're back down the same bit. And what can you see different? That's right. I changed the screen, as you've seen already. Look at that, it's got a little cutout because they appreciate that it's fully black now and not clear. But the clear one distorted anyway, which is a pain in the arse, because if you look through it, it's like looking through the bottom of a bottle. Whereas here, I'm pretty tucked, and I can see over the top of the screen. And the reality is, what do you need to see down there? Well, when I'm off-road, I'm up here anyway, so I can see down there if there's anything tricky. And with the tool screen, it impeded me massively because I couldn't see anything even close. So it was no loss. It actually made everything look fishbowled and everything sort of 3 inches to the left. So again, there's no great loss. Yes, I have to deal with the fact that I've already ridden the bike with a clear screen and now I've got a black one. So I can't do this because that's just stupid. But I wouldn't do that anyway. If I couldn't see, I wouldn't do it. And like I said, I come from naked bikes anyway and dirt bikes. So, you know, and I've only been riding for what, 2.5 years? 3 years actually in December actually. Yeah, so 3 years in December I've been riding. So it's not like I've got 20 odd years or 30 years of riding experience that I've got to overcome. Like some of you guys have, if you've had a tall screen on every bike you've had for the last 30 years and now you're going to go put a little black one on there, that's going to be quite a culture shock. But for me, I mean, I don't keep stuff for too long anyway. Well, I'm going to keep this a long time, I think. But yeah, so for me, that's not a massive big deal. Right then, let's get out on the open road, shall we? And see how it performs. Because like I said, I'm a naked bike kind of guy and a dirt bike kind of guy. So wind on my chest and my shoulders and my helmet, not a big deal. Wind on the outside of my arms and just on the top of my lid, hell no. Fuck that shit, man. That is uncomfortable and I don't like it one bit. It's a good job that the Africa Twin's such a good bike, or I would have got rid of it based on that. So I've got the left-hand buffeting again coming off this roundabout which I had before. We're up to 40. Let's drop down a couple of gears. Where's that wind now? Let me think. It's louder because I'm naked. It's just like being back on a naked bike. Okay, I don't know if you can tell from the noise, but it is louder. But then that's to be expected because I'm back to naked, aren't I? The screen's lower. If I wanted it quieter from the screen, then I would have gone taller to get the screen above my head. But it ain't above my head. It's now below my chin. So actually, I'm back where I used to be, and I'm perfectly happy. If I had my earplugs in, it wouldn't be such a big deal. I bought a new lid as well, because this lid is notoriously loud, and you'll probably be able to tell that I'm shouting a bit more. Down here though, it's quiet as a mouse, because that wind is hitting that little bit there, that V, going onto over the top of my lid, and the little deflector down here is keeping it from going under me chin. So when I get on it, which I like to do from time to time, I don't have to worry because I can still be down here and still see perfectly well. I can still see my apexes from there because I can always hang off the side. This is perfectly pleasant to be here. Perfectly pleasant. If you're this kind of rider that sits up and does this for 300 miles, yeah, no, forget about it. You know, that's not what this is for. But I ain't that kind of rider that sits up like this for 300 miles. Like the other day, where'd I go to? Reading, 80 miles from my house, down the M1, round the M25, up the M40, down the 404, up the M4, as fast as my little legs would carry me, at times, I have to say. And when I needed to, I got down like this. Because who wants to do 100 miles an hour sat up with a wind on your head? I mean, you guys are the Adventure Sport versions. Yes, you've got the big tall screen. That's probably what you do, because that's why you got that big screen. But then, you boys are the Adventure Sport version. I can't imagine that you're riding probably the same way that I ride, and you're probably not too concerned about riding off-road, are you? Because it's bigger and heavier, and that screen is useless. Thanks very much, Lane Hog. See, I've got barely any wind on me. Barely any wind on me. Now, all the wind. But I want all the wind because it gives me the braking. I'm Nicky Hayden, bitches. 69, dude. No wind at all. Nothing under my chin. On Friday, without that there, my chin and my neck were absolutely freezing. Come on, y'all, get out of the way. So I'm going to say result, absolute result. Actually, I'm going to pull up over here and give you a little walkie walk around it so you can see it in 4K glory, 2160p. Well done. What do you reckon to that shit? I really like that. I wish I'd cleaned the front a bit better now so that it wasn't didn't let the side down. I didn't see that first. I think that looks the absolute bollocks. Bring it, bitches. What do you reckon? That's what I needed, a little bit extra black. I've got all the black in the decals, the black tyres, black on the engine bars are black, handguards are black, mirrors are black. Check it. I've got a black surround around there, I've got the air intake black, indicator things black, stickers black, middle bit's black. Now the screen's black. Well, I'm going to call that a day, people. Oh, rad guards are black, frame's black and my horn's black. I'm going to call that, in fact I'm not, I'm going to let you hear the horn first. This horn is the bollocks. Check this shit out. That's like a lorry. That's better than my van and my car. I should open the visor. Let's try that again, in case it didn't come out. Check that out. It's like, I should have like a string to pull. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Let me put that down so it's not too windy. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Stick around, stay tuned for the next one. I don't know what it will be, to be honest. You know, I think I need a break. I really do. I haven't been doing this long, but this year has been mad. Between the business and my personal life and trying to do this as well. And I've had a video per week for, I can't even remember how long now. Yeah, I'm tired. I need a break. I can't take a break. I don't know what a break is. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please do leave a comment down below. As I said in the previous video, which was the precursor to this one, it's not easy doing this, and I do this for me, not for you. As horrible as that sounds, but it would be nice if you would drop a comment down below, you know, like, share, subscribe, do some sharing. There's a few people who are friends now through this, and a few people who were friends before, and I appreciate everything that you guys do, and I appreciate it when people are in the videos as well and want to partake in the video. So, you know, if you want to be in a video, let me know. Holla. I'm happy to travel. As I said before, I travel everywhere. I don't ride locally very often. I mean, even yesterday's ride, I had to ride 45 miles to get there. So yeah, thank you for watching, people. Let's enjoy that song for a little bit, shall we? Ah. I'll smell you later, you bunch of losers. Bye.